Welcome back to Ride and Glide. Today we are reviewing a brand new scooter to the market, the Element Bondi.
He's moving, lots of bumps, lumps, a little bit dangerous. Oh, disgusting. Whoa. Oh, we got to stop.
Full disclosure, we have actually played a big part in developing this scooter alongside Element, so it's a real passion project for us. I will try my best to be completely unbiased in this situation, but it's more than likely that I'm going to be extremely biased towards the Bondi. We're going to test it as usual. We'll take a real close look here in the studio, then we'll get out there, do the hill climb, do the speed run, see how fast it can go. That is the speed run. Do a tiny bit of off-road and see if it can handle any lumps and bumps. But this is an urban design scooter made to make city commuting much safer and much more comfortable. So we will start down at the back wheel with the motor. It's a single motored scooter, 500 watts of nominal power, 800 watts of peak power. These are the same make of motors that are used for Lime scooters and also giant electric bikes. The reason it's 500 watt is to fit in with the general legislation in Europe. So a lot of countries in Europe, it's a 500 watt maximum powered motor, nominal power. And also we are predicting in the UK that is going to be the same thing, which is why we have gone for this. This is designed as a commuter style scooter for going around urban areas in comfort and safety. Moving out from the motors, as you can see, it's just very, very obvious, the tyres are very large. They are 20x3 road tyres. Really nice to ride on, very comfortable. The reason we've gone for larger tyres, again, is to do with that comfort, safety aspect. So when you're riding, it'll feel more like a bicycle. A lot of people don't want to use a scooter that has the smaller wheels. They feel a bit unsafe. So these will give you that peace of mind for those potholes or uneven terrain to make sure that you are feeling safe at all times. Around the tyres, we have the fenders. They come over here and they have an integrated rear light. So when you turn the scooter on, which I will do now, power button's up on the left on the handlebars, we turn on, and then I'm going to press the light button. There you go, headlights come on, very bright headlight, but also you can see that integrated rear light there. When you press the brake, the rear light intensifies, and we will show you a close-up of that. On the back here, you also have Bluetooth connected indicators. So they are battery powered, they're not integrated, but they're indicators fitted on the back of the fender here. This has an independent bracket for the light and indicators, which also then fits onto the fender. So you don't have to have the fender on if you don't want to, and you will still be able to have the lights here. What's nice about this rear bracket, we designed it to be color coordinated with the rest of the scooter. This particular scooter comes in reef green, but you can also get it in Pacific blue, orca black, and white sand. Now, what you can't see this side of the scooter are the brakes, but what we have on here are Tektro hydraulic disc brakes. Very, very high quality brakes. We wanted to make sure that we had decent brakes for this sort of bike style scooter to make sure that these big wheels could be stopped quickly. We've got 160mm rotors on the back, 180mm rotors on the front, and with the biting power of those Tektro hydraulic disc brakes, you're going to be able to stop very quickly, but we will test that out when we go outside. But we will test that out in the field. No, we won't test it in the field, but we will test that out. As we move forward along the scooter here, you'll see we come to the deck. Lovely bamboo deck. We've really spent a long time designing this because it looks great, it feels great. We've got some grip tape that runs along here just for extra grip, but it's a really, really nice aesthetic design as well as being very wide. So it's easy to either stand with 1 foot behind or 2 feet next to each other if that's how you like to stand. We've got the nice Bondi logo here. And as you can see, you have the handle. So what this is for, it also acts as a footrest, but it makes it pretty easy. This is only 25 kilos, this scooter, which is pretty light really in the world of scooters, especially considering how big it is. So we wanted to make sure it is actually portable to a degree. Obviously it doesn't fold away like normal scooters. The handlebars fold down. What you'll see when I grab the handle here and I put my hand under here, it's a very, very, very lightweight and simple to lift up. The 25 kilos compared to some of those big scooters out there isn't massively heavy. So although it's not portable, as I said, it's not going to be folded and put under your desk, it's actually very easy to fold that down and move around if you need to. And it was really important for us to make sure that it was actually practical out in the field. So we got motor IPX5, controller IPX8, the battery is IPX5 rated, the cabling is IPX6 rated, and the display is IP65 rated. It gives the whole scooter an overall IP rating of IPX5, but the major components, some of them actually have a much higher rating than that. So that is massively important to us and all of our customers to make sure that they can keep riding even if it starts to drizzle a bit or even if the ground's damp. So we've spoken about the controller, the motor, the back wheel, some of the frame. Now we get onto the battery. Obviously you can see here we've got the Element detail down the side there. It's a really nice design, very smooth, color coordinated battery as well. One of the biggest features about this battery, it is removable. So you don't have to carry the whole thing inside with you or wherever you're going to take it to charge. You just clip in and clip out the battery. It's so simple. It's also got a battery gauge on here so you can check how full the battery is. Obviously you can see that on your screen as well. But this is a 48 volt, 14 amp hour battery, which is going to provide you up to around 30 miles of range. Really, really useful if it's a last mile scooter, obviously, or if you're just nipping around urban city environments. This is going to be fantastic for that, and make sure that range will get you where you need to go. The key to unlocking the battery, it's over on this side. So you literally just fit the key and turn it, and the battery slides in and out, and we'll show you that on the video in closer. With that battery, with that controller, with the motor, this scooter is going to go around 22 miles per hour maximum speed. We will test that out shortly, but it can also be speed restricted. So depending on which country you're in, what the legalities are there, or whether you may even just want to restrict it yourselves, we can lock a restriction on there of a certain mile per hour. So it can be used in multiple different scenarios. With that 48 volt, 14 amp hour battery, that takes around 7 hours to charge from 0 all the way up to 100. Now we will be bringing a fast charger out at some point to halve that time, but for now it's about 7 hours to completely charge that scooter to get you up to full range. Coming up the neck and down the front forks, again, color coordinated, so they match most of the scooter. Obviously we've got the black and green theme, like I've said, running through on this one. Come down to that 20 by 3 inch tire again. You will see this when we go and test it out. This was a really important feature for us. Like I've said before, it just gives that feeling of safety, and we really thought there isn't a, well, not that we know of, a really high quality but lower powered scooter that gives that sense of safety and security when you're riding, and that is one of the major reasons that we've designed a scooter like this. What you can't see there is, I spoke about earlier, the 180mm disc on this side. We will look at a close-up of that. I said 160 at the back, 180 at the front, and we've got those Tetra hydraulic calipers round here as well. Also round here we've got the foot stand, which is substantial at the back, but now we are going to take a look at the stem because I want to show you the unfolding mechanism. Let me just turn this round to show you, and we'll show you shortly as well in a closer view. That's a very, very bright headlight there. The headlight is also plug and play, so if you ever did have any issues with it, need to replace it, literally there, you can just pop it out, pop it back in, and you've sorted it. We've really tried to make this scooter user-friendly. Like we said, the big tires, that's gonna give you less punctures, make it more comfortable. It lacks suspension. We couldn't put suspension on it because first of all, it takes away from the look. It's really aesthetically pleasing the way it is, but also it would make it a lot heavier. And we wanted to really keep this scooter in that lighter weight, easy to pick up, easy to ride around category. And we also want that 500 watt motor to be able to give it as much speed and torque as we possibly could. So adding extra weight was just going to take away from that performance. But what the suspension, without suspension, what the bigger tires do is give you that give and feel and riding comfort, which you'll definitely find out when you come and have a go on one of these. So weighing only 25 kilos, obviously that's pretty light for an e-scooter, as we've said, especially with the battery, the motors, the size it is. You can actually take up to 130 kilograms of weight on it. So the rider can be up to 130, showing the strength of the design of this scooter. So that's a big factor when people are thinking about buying. How much weight can a scooter take and will it still perform with that weight on it? So you're okay up to 130 kilos on this scooter. So we've checked out all the spec of the scooter down below. You've seen the folding mechanism. Now I'm going to show you the handlebars and the display. I'm going to turn it to face you. You've got ergonomically designed handlebars here and some really comfortable grip. We've also got the Tetra hydraulic levers here. We've spoken about them already. Very, very comfortable. 3-finger levers there. Give you really good braking power. Moving on from the left lever, we have the power button. Press here and on the display, we'll show you in close up, turns on and says hello, which is always nice to be welcomed by your scooter. Here you have a plus and minus button and the power button as well. Plus and minus will take you through the ride modes. It's 1 to 5. Remember, we said you can restrict it within the P settings as well. So the plus and minus do that. But also the minus button, if you hold it, makes the scooter go on walk mode. So if you're not actually wanting to ride the scooter but walk along next to it and you don't want to push it, you can hold down minus and that will walk along next to you with power until you let go of the button. Cool feature. Also, if you hold plus, the lights come on, and we will show you that as before. Now, if you want to click through the basic settings on the display itself, we told you this is IP65 already, use the power button. You click through, you've got how many meters you've done, you've got your total range, you've also got your odometer and trip on there, you've got your max speed, you've got voltage showing on there, you've got the time of your trip. So much information on there, obviously, as well as your speed and battery life, but voltage is much more accurate to go by than actually blocks on your battery screen. So learning how much your voltage can get down to before your scooter cuts off is essential for knowing when you need to turn back and go home, basically. Now, there is plenty more you can do with this display, like putting passcodes in, things like that. Check out the manual, we'll put one online for you so you can really see the full functionality of the display. Again, we've put these features on this scooter to try and make it as easy and customizable for riders as possible. We've got the big tires, we've got the wide deck, removable battery, hydraulic brake, customizable display, water resistance rating really high. This is a really high quality urban scooter. Then you come along from the display, you get to your bell, which is a little ring you can hear, like a bicycle bell. You get your right brake lever, and you've probably realized you haven't seen the throttle yet. That is because it is included in the right grip. So it's a half twist throttle. So as I twist, a bit like a scooter or moped, the scooter goes. We did that because we really like the idea of being in total control, still having full grip of your both handles at the same time whilst being able to accelerate. Personally, we felt that that was a safer way to accelerate on a scooter or a motor vehicle, especially when you're in and around traffic. So now we have gone through all of the specs in here and it is time to test it out. I'm very excited. As I said, we had a lot of input on this scooter, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how it performs.
We've made it out and we have the Element Bondi out here in the sticks. We're going to be testing the climbing ability of it, the top speed, its brakes. We're going to do an acceleration test. We're also going to try and find some puddles to see if we can get it wet, see how it handles with the water, and then just generally give you an overview of how it feels to ride this lovely looking scooter. A stylish scooter like the Bondi deserves a stylish helmet, so I've picked the lovely 1000 Arctic Grey. Let's go. Oh, I like it already. Smooth. This is a really bumpy track, but these big tyres just roll over the bumps. So we're on the hard ground now, probably what this scooter's designed for, really. Not a smooth road though. Lots of bumps, lumps. The scooter that doesn't have suspension always slightly worries me. Going into the wind, so I might be a bit muffled. But with the size of the tyres, these 20 by 3 inch tyres, it's actually very comfortable. There's plenty of gravel here. I'll go across the middle as well. But you still feel like there's a lot of grip. We're going around 12 miles an hour, 13 miles an hour, something like that. And it feels very smooth and very safe. There's not an incredible amount of acceleration, but there is enough. We're about to come up to a steep hill here, the hill we do the incline testing on, which you can cut to now to show the test results. Right, what are we up to speed-wise? It's a twist grip, this one, so it's a bit different. 14, so it's about 24 kilometers an hour again. Ooh. Right, now the hill's kicking in. This separates the wheat from the chaff. Oh, there's the lights there. Must have come off earlier. So we're about 10 kilometers. This is the steepest part. Still going. It feels better than well, obviously better than the last one. I think it's the best so far. It's definitely the best so far. This is a record breaker. Look at her go. Oh yes. Now we're pulling back to 10 kilometers an hour. Gearing up for the finish. I feel like a gent on here. And we're done. So as you've seen, the Bondi climbs the hill really well. It's the best 500 watt scooter we've ever tested up there. Not sure why, it's not super powerful, obviously. As I've said, 500 watts, the battery isn't massive. It might be those bigger tyres that just give it a bit more traction as it's rolling over the bumps and lumps. There's a lot of potholes on the hill. We're gonna show you them now on the way down. So let's go. Okay, so we're gonna be approaching some of these potholes here. Now, for small scooters, not always the ones we test some quite big wheeled, you know, the 11 by 4 inch, like the Nami, stuff like that. They're not so bad. It's the very small scooters like the 9bots, the Xiaomis, the Pures, those sort of things with the small tyres, even the E2Os to a degree, that can get caught in a pothole and throw you off the scooter. With these big tyres, 20 by 3s, it's so much safer going through them. Can you see how bad some of these ruts are in the ground? I'm actually just going to roll down through the middle of a rut there. That would be incredibly difficult, or at least pretty unsafe to do on a small wheeled scooter. But the Bondi is handling it really, really well. And there we go, we threw the worst of it and off we go. Okay, it's speed run time. Now, obviously being a 500 watt motor scooter, this isn't gonna break any records, but we do wanna see its absolute maximum top speed. So I've put it in mode 5. I'm hoping it goes over that 20 mile an hour, which would be really nice. I think 20 mile an hour, something around that is a really nice riding speed, but let's see what it can do. Go. Okay, she's moving. We're at 15 mile an hour already. 16, we're going on a slight uphill here, but that is going to change. 17. Yeah, we've just got to come over the brow of this hill. So it's holding a steady 17 and a half at the moment. Oh, 18, it did hit into there. Right, let's get up and over here. Now, we're going to see it accelerate further, I hope. 18, 19. Oh, now we're cooking. I'm going to hit ya. 21, 22. Oh, we got to stop, we got to stop. 22 mile an hour, and well done to the one wheel. 22 mile an hour, and it's 0 degrees. That's pretty sketchy. 22 miles an hour. I think it would have gone a bit further, but we're about to hit a downslope, and I didn't want to cheat. 22 mile an hour, what's that, 38 kilometers per hour? Pretty fast, that's exactly what I wanted. A scooter that's 500 watts, really I want to be going around between 15 and 20 mile an hour on it. It's a really nice cruising speed. Some of the ones that are restricted, obviously, they will hopefully fit in with the laws down the line. This can be restricted as well. So you can restrict the Bondi to 15 mile per hour, but you can also obviously have it unrestricted and it will go 22. So there we go. Okay, so we've done a bit on the harder ground. We're now going to go onto a gravelly track that's got some big dips on it. It's also where we like to do the water testing, so I'm hoping there are going to be some puddles up here as it has been pretty wet recently. Okay, so we're coming onto the track here. You can see a lot of horses walk up and down here, a lot of vehicles. Look at these potholes here. We've got no suspension, remember, but we do have these big 20 by 3-inch tyres. Now, normally, on a smaller wheel scooter, I'd be going, and you'd hear in my voice the vibration when I was hitting all the big bumps, but actually, it's handling it very well. If you watch when the wheel goes into the holes, it covers so much surface area, it sort of bounces in and then pops out again, whereas some of the smaller wheels, that can chuck you off. Not talking about stuff like the Nami, I'm talking more about the very small scooters like the 500 watt, 350 watt scooters we mentioned earlier, like the Xiaomis, the Pures, that kind of thing. Great scooters, but obviously not as capable when you come to uneven terrain. Look at this here, we've got a huge rut in the ground. With this scooter, you just roll over it. Now we're coming up to another really difficult section. This is normally where there are really, really big puddles. But puddles seem to have dried out a little bit, but it's very muddy and slippery, and the holes are still there. There's a bit of water in front I can see. But as you can see, the scooter's handling it really well. Here you go, little puddle here, splash time. That wasn't much puddle, that was more ice. That's how cold it is at the moment. The front wheel slid as soon as I went into that. A little bit dangerous, but we're here to show you what it can do. There's a couple more coming up there. I'm just gonna go up onto the grass here, see what it handles that. This is very rutted. Lots of tractors, things like that go down here. You can see it's still coping well. Please don't be frozen. Oh, it's half frozen, half wet. Here you go, a couple more here. Very rutted ground, very rutted. We found some water. Here we go. Oh, mucky. And again. So we've just gone through those big potholes, quite a bit of water in there, a bit of ice as well, so it's pretty sketchy. The scooter is handling it very well. Like I keep saying, there's no suspension, but the wheels make a big difference. I'll also say the fenders seem to be doing a good job, because that is absolutely disgusting what we've been through. The cameraman's covered in mud because he refuses to ride with a fender on his one wheel, but the Bondi has excellent fenders on it, or so it seems. I don't have any mud on me at all, and that really was muddy and really wet. So I want to move on now to how it actually rides. We've got the half throttle, half grip throttle on here, or half twist throttle. A bit like the stealth bikes ride with. So if you ride a motorbike, something like that has a full twist throttle. This has a half. So it allows half your hand to sort of grip on one side, and then you use your thumb and your first two fingers to twist. It's actually pretty comfortable. I don't ride a lot of scooters with this style, so I'm still getting used to it a little bit. Obviously, I used to ride bikes a bit when I was younger, and that's, so I sort of remember it a bit. Don't know what he's going on about. Oh, disgusting. Whoa. So we've come off the really bumpy, uneven roads, which are handled really well. Shouldn't say roads really, come off the really bumpy, uneven tracks. And it handled them really well. Went through the water, it's pretty much handled that. Now we're on harder, smooth ground, and now it's in its element. And now it's in its element! Love that. It's really cruising. It's lovely and smooth. We're at 15, 16 mile an hour now, and it's just a lovely cruising speed. You feel safe. I feel really safe on here. With those big tyres, nice wide deck, the grip tape on it, or the grip on the deck, is very, very secure. The ride height is nice. I'm 6 foot, my feet are size 11. I've got big shoes on today, and it feels like really spacious. Another really cool thing about the Bondi is you don't even have to have it on to be able to use it. So it's kind of like a kick scooter as well. See, there's no resistance there on the motors whilst I'm pushing, and this is uphill a bit as well. So that's actually quite a useful feature, because some in the past we've had, they sort of lock up when they're turned off. So if you ever did run out of battery, or even just want to get a bit of exercise, it could double up. As you can see, we've done some fairly heavy testing. Deck's now covered in mud, fenders are sort of covered in mud. I'm not covered in mud, so the fenders work really well. The way this is going to work, as always, is we're going to do 15 miles an hour. We're going to pull as hard as we can on the hydraulic disc brakes. We've got some big rotors on here as well, the bigger on the front at least. The back's a little bit smaller, and see how quickly it stops. And we're going to measure it with our tape measure there. We do this with all the scooters. This doesn't really have a lot of regen braking or anything that you can adjust on it anyway, so we're purely down to those hydraulic brakes. We've got the big tyres, so they need to be powerful. Let's see how it copes. Okay, we're at 15. Oh, wow! That was fast. I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to slide. It's really wet today. So I've got my finger on the brake. That was fast. I thought the weight and the big wheels were going to push it forward. Right, come in, come in, come in, come in, come in. We are. That is, I mean, 3 meters on the line there. That is almost exactly 3 meters to the very front of the wheel. I'm really impressed with that. Really good braking, stopping distance on there. Big rotors make a difference. Hydraulic brakes are obviously decent. Tetra hydraulics on here, so they're good. Maybe those tyres have a bit more grip as you're stopping. Excellent work, Bondi. Okay, just coming off the hard ground now. Let's get right onto the grass. Go about 8, 9, 10 miles an hour. Still pretty comfortable. It is bumpy along here. Look, we've got some ruts coming up. Very slippery mud. Handles that well. Back onto the hard, and we're going to go on some deeper grass now. Bump along, and then off. Whoa, back onto the hard, like that. Come round with me, come round with me. I want to go through some deep gravel. Turn left. Right, here we go. Oh, it's easy. The little scooters, their little wheels get caught up in that. That just rolled over it with no problems. Whoa, and we are back. The Element Bondi. That was very enjoyable. The things I love about it, it looks great. The deck is wide. I've got big feet. The deck's wide. The handlebars are wide. The display is easy to see. It climbed the hill, you know, pretty easily, to be honest. It goes over 20 miles an hour. It's got all the safety features you want, but those tyres make such a big difference when you're going through potholes, and even on the off-road, they just make you feel safe and secure. I can imagine if you're in a country where these are legal, obviously the UK not at the moment, but somewhere in Europe or wherever, if you are on the road, on a promenade, something like that, you can just feel like you'd be cruising around and you feel safe. It's like riding a bike. Any cons? Obviously for me, I probably want a more powerful motor, but that's just me. And I like suspension, but that's just me. I like it. You didn't need it on this. For what it is that type of commuter scooter. Town, urban riding is fantastic. Well done, Element. The Bondi is incredible. If you want to come and try it out, get down to Ride and Glide. We are here to do demos for you anytime you like. Give us a call, give us an email, send us a live chat. Always available to offer information. If you want the information about any other products we sell, go to www.rideandglide.co.uk and you will find info on all sorts of stuff. Check out the YouTube channel. We've got loads of videos and reviews down there. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us know what you want us to review and also supports us because these videos take a long time to make and we love making them. So yeah, please subscribe. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.
Better make the snooze.